Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the Caris apparel. Let me take you through the process of sewing this dress. Alright. Okay guys, from the last place we stopped, I have to do my basic contour, finish it up. I'll go up by half inch from the center back so as to eliminate total back bulge. Okay, I'll go ahead and use my pattern and trace out and transfer it to fabric, adding half inch all around. Okay, except the center back and the sides, both the center front and the side. The center front is 2.5 inches while the side is 2 inches. I'll go ahead and add my zipper, okay, and join my lining to my main fabric. All right, once I'm done doing that, my back is settled. As well as after putting these zippers, I'll go ahead and sew my armhole line. Okay, after that I'll go ahead and iron it out and keep. Then I'm done with my front back bodies. Now for the front, I'll go ahead and separate my fabric from my lining, then join them appropriately. Please, after sewing one, make sure it's okay, especially the lining, so that you don't sew the two side the same end. Okay, go ahead, pick up the center front for the front bodies, join them together as well as the lining. While doing this, make sure you take the seam allowance you brought out. I added just 2 inches on all round aside the sides. I added 2 inches for the sides, 2 inches allowance for the sides. Okay, I'm making use of my half inches. Once I'm done sewing the main fabric, I'll go ahead and do same for the lining. Now while joining the lining, like I said before, make sure you check it out so that they align, because you might sew one facing one side and you go ahead and sew the other one facing the same side, which will lead you to losing it and resewing it. Okay, so these are the tricks you have to pay attention to in order to have a neat work. All right, once you are done with this, go ahead and sew the other remaining halves of your front bodies. Now I'm done with that, the bustier part. I'll go ahead and bring the black strip I will be using. Then note where my that leg passed through. I'll mark that and notch, because that's where I will be joining it together with. All right, so if you are making use of this design, some do all their fabric the same material. Okay, you don't need to add this, but for you to add a new one, this is how you have to do it. So I went ahead to pin it down and sewn it and remove my pin. The next thing I'll do is turn it so that I'll make sure that it all aligns. I'll go ahead and give it a good press. You also do this same trick to the lining part. Okay, and after sewing, you make sure you place them together to make sure it aligns, so that you know that you are having a headway in what you are sewing. All right, go ahead and sew the lining part same way you did for the main fabric. Okay, after doing so, just like I'm doing here. Okay, after doing so, you will go ahead and join it back to the main fabric. And guys, please don't say you cannot pin your dresses. You cannot. Pinning is important in dressmaking. It holds your cloth firm, your fabric firm for sewing. Okay, all right, this is me joining the main fabric to the lining part. All right, once you are done joining with the half inch you brought out, once you are done joining it, you top stitch using hemming gum. Okay, after sewing it, this is what I have. All right, go ahead and use your bust ham to press it down. Go ahead and bring my pattern and place it so that I will know where my center front I marked the curve will start from. Once I've measured it, I'll mark it out. Okay, mark it out both for the left and the right hand side of my front bodice. Once I'm done with that, like I'm doing, yeah, like you see me do, once you have done with that, measure it out. After marking, measure it out to do the actual measurement. Bring your left or the other side of your front bodies, place it together and make sure they align so that you also mark the same thing. Once you are done marking them out and tracing them out, okay, you go ahead and sew inside of it and stop there, exactly that place. You have to stop there when sewing it. All right. This is me placing them together to actually know on the wrong side where I'm going to stop, right from the shoulder to that curve. Okay, this material can be tricky because this is crepe, alright. Pin it down, okay, so that it will be firm while sewing. Now I'm done sewing there, I'll turn it out, give it a good press. Once I'm done giving it a good press, I'll place it the way it ought to be, the finished look ought to be. Alright, once I'm done placing them, I'll still go ahead and iron it and put my ½ inch sewing allowance in. Once I'm done doing that, I'll go ahead and pick both the right and left hand side where I stopped sewing from the neckline. Alright, I'll hold it this way and flip it. Wait, let me start afresh. I said once you have done placing them as it ought to be, after the whole sewing, how the design ought to be, you place it that way, then pick from where you have already sewn from the neckline of the center, both center fronts. Pick them together, go ahead and sew pick them together, sorry, pin it down, all right, so that it will give you a guide on how to sew it in your machine. All right, once you have pinned them, you sew it ½ inches down, starting from your main pattern of your fabric down to your lining. Once you are done sewing it, the crisscross is already formed. All you have to do is iron it down and place it. You see it just form naturally. Okay, that's just the trick of what you did, just like this here. Okay, this is the inside of where I sewed it, and this is what you have here, guys. The next thing you are going to do the next thing you are going to do is to pick your back bodies and place on your shoulders, join them together, then mark out your sides, your shape your dress and join it to your peplon or your down part of your gown if it's a gown, but if it's a top, you join it to the remaining body, maybe peplon or flare, whatever you are joining at the down. Your dress is ready. Go ahead and interlock it if you have interlocking machine, or go to commercial interlockers. Weaving, we call them weaving. You go ahead and weave it and your dress is ready. This is the result of what I have, guys, and it's looking beautiful. You not even know that the center front is joined. Please support me by liking, subscribing and sharing. Bye.